If you're applying for the disability tax credit for your autistic child in 2026, there are some key changes you need to know about before you submit your application, because the process has changed. The way you submit the application has changed. You may be creating delays you don't even realize. So today I'm gonna walk you through the 6 changes every autism parent needs to know before they submit the DTC application form, including exactly how to apply through the CRA My Account and what you need to do differently. Hey, I'm Genevieve, mom raising an amazing child on the spectrum. If you're new here, welcome. Here on the Autism Parent Guide, I help families understand autism, make informed decisions, and I share things I wish I knew years ago. So if that's the type of support you're looking for, consider subscribing. The Disability Tax Credit, DTC, is not automatically approved if your child has an autism diagnosis. That is a misconception. The CRA is looking at how that disability, i.e. autism, affects everyday functioning. So the question is not simply, does my child have an autism diagnosis? The question becomes, how does autism affect my child's ability to function in the everyday? So this can include examples like social functioning, communication, safety awareness, emotional regulation, independence, and adaptive skills. You could have 2 children with the same autism diagnosis and they have completely different outcomes when it comes to the DTC application process. Because the CRA is not looking at the diagnosis, they're looking at how the disability affects your child on an everyday basis. If you're applying for the DTC for the first time, I actually recommend you click on my original video. I'm gonna link it up above. Although the process is slightly outdated, it'll give you a general overview about the application process, but I also drop a lot of key nuggets of information that you're not gonna wanna miss. So go check that out first and then come on back. Change number 1, the disability tax credit application form is moving digital. The process before was essentially you would log into the CRA My Account, you would download the T2201 form, you would complete your portion, your medical practitioner would complete their portion, then you would scan it and submit the documents. You could submit the documents digitally, or you could send the application form in via paper through the mail. Now the CRA is moving towards a completely digital process. That's the first biggest change. But let me walk you through it step by step. Step number 1 is you sign in to the CRA My Account. If you don't have an account with the CRA online, you will need to create one before you even start the process. Step number 2, once you log into the CRA My Account, you have to navigate to the Disability Tax Credit application form, and you need to start a new application. This is where you begin the online process. Step number 3, complete your section. You as the parent or guardian applying on behalf of your child. So it'll ask for information about the person applying. It'll ask for information about the person with the disability. It'll ask for contact information as well as the required consent. Once this section is complete, now you will move to the next step. Step number 4 is you receive a reference number. This is the number that you will have to give to your healthcare provider in order to complete the medical section, which is the most important section of this entire application. I cannot stress that enough. Step number 5 is contact your healthcare providers and provide them with the reference number. Depending on your child's situation, this may include a physician, a nurse care practitioner, a psychologist, but also a speech language pathologist and an occupational therapist. Those last 2, SLP and OT, are some of the changes that CRA has made. Step number 6, now that your healthcare provider has a reference number, they can go ahead and they can complete the medical section of the Disability Tax Credit application form. This medical section of the DTC application form is the most important part of the application form. You want to make sure your healthcare practitioner or provider knows exactly how your child is affected by their disability, because you do not want your healthcare provider to write that your child is autistic. You want them to write key details as to how it affects your child on a daily basis. The second major change is how the documents are submitted. Before, you were able to download the T2201 form, complete it, get your medical practitioner to complete their section, and then upload it through the Submit Documents button on the CRA My Account. This no longer is the correct pathway. The Submit Documents feature is now only used when the CRA requests specific information or additional documents. So for any new applications, you have to go through the process I walked you through in change number 1. Make sure you have the correct version of the T2201 form. A lot of the times we might be using an old link, maybe a link from a friend or from an old website. I will link the correct T2201 form in the description below, so go check that out. The fourth change is designed to help make the application process smoother. The digital application helps guide families through the application process and ensures that no critical information is missing. So it doesn't mean that because you tick off every box that you're automatically going to be approved for the DTC. What matters is the quality of the information provided. And so that leads us to change number 5. This is probably the most important section for autism families. The CRA does not need a long explanation about what autism is, how autism affects your child on an everyday basis with everyday functioning. Now I'm gonna pause here because I need you, I'm not about doom and gloom, but what I need you to do is you need to think about your child on their worst day. You are with your child 24 hours a day or a good chunk of the day. And so you need to note down on the hardest day, what does that look like for you? So I'll give you an example. Instead of saying, my child is autistic or my child has autism and struggles socially, you don't want to say something like that. You want to explain it. You want to say something like, and this, if this is true for your child, my child requires significant support, understanding social situations, communicating needs, managing changes, and completing activities expected for their age. The diagnosis tells CRA the condition your child has, but the functional limitations explain why your child needs the support. Change number 6, more healthcare professionals can certify certain DTC applications. A lot of families may not realize this, but this is actually one of the biggest changes. Before, a lot of autism families relied on physicians, nurse care practitioners, as well as psychologists to fill out the medical portion of the DTC application. But now it's been expanded in certain situations to both SLPs, speech language pathologists, as well as occupational therapists. That being said, it depends on the functional impairment for your child as well as the healthcare provider's scope of practice. This is actually great for some families because these professionals, SLPs and OTs, they actually have a deep connection with your child. They work with your child maybe for months or years, so they know your child, they know the impairment, and they know how it affects your child on an everyday basis. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Do not focus only on the diagnosis. Most parents will write, my child is autistic or my child has autism, but that's not what the CRA is looking for. The bigger question is, how does the autism diagnosis or how does autism affect your child on an everyday basis, everyday functioning, compared to a child of a similar age? That is the key. So here is your final checklist. Before you submit the DTC application, you want to make sure, am I using the correct application process? Do I have the correct form? Did I explain the functional limitations, not just the diagnosis? Does my healthcare provider understand my child's daily challenges? And lastly, did I avoid relying on outdated information? The disability tax credit can be life-changing, especially for families raising autistic kids and who need the actual support. But honestly, this whole process, it can feel really confusing. So I completely understand. The goal of the changes is to make the process more streamlined, but understanding what CRA is looking for is still the most important part. Again, if you're starting a new DTC application, if you want to go back and watch my original video, I'm going to link it up above again. And then I'm also going to link up a video if you did get denied for the disability tax credit and you're looking at reasons why or how you can submit a new application. I'll link that video up as well. If this video has provided you with an ounce of value, hit that subscribe button and maybe share it with another autism family that might need it today. And I just want you to know that you're not alone in this, and neither is your child. I'll see you next week on the Autism Parent Guide.